Are you or someone you know adventurous, spontaneous, outgoing, and positive? Are you upbeat, always down for a good time, and ready to party? Then you may be a 7 on the Enneagram, the enthusiast, defined by your need to avoid pain by dealing with pleasure. Type 7s are in the head space. They are the covert head, meaning they don't look like a head type at all. They actually look more like a body type or a person in touch with their body more, because they can be very spiritual and kind of light and airy. They're always upbeat, they're always ready to party or have a good time or up the ante, which can get them in trouble most of the time. 7s go through life thinking that avoiding pain is the ultimate way to feeling the most pleasurable, which is false, but that's their philosophy. What they do is they go out and they will try to just get feelings. They try to get as much adventure as they can. I need to go on a big yacht, and I need to have 10 bottles, and I need to have cocaine that will up the ante, that'll do more. Yeah, more and more and more and more. They have a boundary problem, like the 2 who can't set boundaries with other people, but they can't set boundaries with themselves. 7s don't want to deal with the negative or bad vibes, as they always say. If you're going to bring some negativity around them, they are going to resent you heavily. They want everything to be positive. They're always looking to make sure everybody's having a good time. You having a good time? What do you need? You having a good time? Yeah. Everything has to be upbeat and positive at all times. As we know, life is not always upbeat and positive, and life comes in and smacks 7s around. But their nature is to avoid responsibility, and so they kind of sweep it under the rug. They sweep unfortunate circumstances under the rug and go ignore it and drown it in a party lifestyle. 7s don't like introspection. 7s, as soon as they saw this video of me, probably turned this shit off and went to something more positive, because 7s do not like the Enneagram. They don't like any methodical, introspective, finding the deeper meaning of things. That's not their style. They want the surface level, everything's light, level 1 conversation type things. They don't want to think about the deep, dark depths of things, which is what, as you know, me as a 4 like to do. So they avoid talking about it, and they thrust themselves into a life of endless pleasures. And as we know, endless pleasure is not the way to make yourself happy. And a happy life is not a life filled with endless pleasure. It's a life full of struggle and overcoming those struggles. And when 7s learn that, man, they can take over the world, because 7s are charismatic, charming, and can be the life of the party. You want them at your bachelorette parties. You want them around your friends cracking jokes and having a good time. 7s are comedians. They're performers. They're directors. They're people who have an affinity for life and an affinity for living life up to its highest potential. That's what 7s are beautiful at. 7s have a children's heart, meaning they can find the fun, the silly, the good in everything, and that's why people are very attracted to them. Now, 4s and 7s have this kind of relationship. I know, because I am a 4, but they have this kind of relationship where they're both running from something. 7s are often running from responsibility and seriousness and the deep depths, while 4s are running away from their emotions and trying to suppress their emotions. And so they both have the propensity to be drug addicts or alcoholics or abuse drugs, because they're both avoiding stuff. When you turn to substances to avoid how you're feeling, it puts you into a world of hurt. And 4s and 7s know this the best. 9s too, because they don't have energy, and so they consume drugs or alcohol to try to get their energy, but we'll get to them later. Believe that. 7s don't want to be anywhere that's boring. They don't want to be anywhere where they have to sit still and learn and do something serious. They want to just be let loose and have free. They're the quintessential free spirit. That's what a 7 is. It's a free spirit. They're into spirituality that lets them express themselves in all kind of different ways. They like to go and experiment with, whatever may take them up to the next level of pleasure. So whether that is drugs or sex or whatever it is, 7s are there to experience that type of stuff. Sevens are traditional extroverts, so they can be creative and they can be in creative spaces. You'll mainly find them in spaces where you have to work as a team in order to get something done. They are videographers, they are directors, they are DJs too. Because you have to be very social to do these things. You have to have a social battery to be out there and do these type of things. Gangster rap is 7 and 8. Though you'll find rappers there who are talking about partying and having a good time and just experiencing the moment for what it is. They're good at living in the moment. They are good at living in the moment. That's why they're the covert head, because you would think that living in the moment is a body trait that the 8, 9, and 1 share, but it's actually a trait that 7 share too, which is one of their gifts. So one thing about 7s that people don't usually get, because they can be very shallow and very surface level about things, is that 7s are actually very intelligent. They're in the headspace, so they do have affinity for going out and learning things if it's something that they care about. 7s are kings and queens of making a party look like a networking event, but really it's an excuse to party. They're masters at this. They're masterfuls at creating environments that are parties but business. And if they're good at it, if they can find a job where they can kind of party or kind of travel or be let loose to do something, they will excel in that job. So these people are great in clubs. They're great at bars. They're great bartenders. They're great travel guides. They're great stewardesses because they love to just go from different cities to different cities. It moves their soul to do these kind of things. So these are the type of occupations that 7s are likely to choose. When 7s are healthy, they know that less is more. All too often we see 7s and they're stuck. They're not moving in the right direction. They may be drinking and going out too much. They may be upping the ante too much. 7s always have to up the ante. They always have to one up the last time. So if they just went on a trip last time, now they have to go on a trip, but this time they have to get on a yacht, or this time they have to do a line of cocaine while they're on the boat. They can't just be satisfied with a similar kind of experience on vacation to vacation. They have to do it bigger this time and better, which gets them into trouble. And when it's time to be serious, they can't do it. And when you need them to be serious, you want to scream at them and slap them across the face and be like, get serious, settle down, it's time to do that. And they will not do it. It's very hard for 7s to move into that transformation. They usually do it when they connect with that 6 loyalist wing and they find God or something like that, or a cause to be involved in. Or they can move into their 8 wing and almost get worse in a weird way, because now mixed with their partying lifestyle, they now have this challenging bravado about themselves with it, and that can lead them into some dark roads also. 7s have a commitment issue. They cannot commit to people or things because they live in a world of endless possibilities. If they say yes to this thing, then they can't experience more possibilities later on. And so they get stuck in this cycle of, I wonder if the grass is greener on the other side or not. And that kind of puts them in stasis. So instead of moving to one thing that may seem good and learning that it wasn't and getting out of it, they just would rather not commit altogether and just keep the world of endless possibilities open. That's the call of a 7 soul, is just a world full of endless possibilities and wonder. It's what they live for, and it's why they have commitment issues. The way out for 7s is to stay committed to people and things in order to find a deeper meaning in love and in life. If 7s can never do this, they usually just stay in adolescent stage and have Peter Pan syndrome. They live in this denial stage where they never really grow up, they never really mature. And so in order for a 7 to be able to find something deeper rather than the simple pleasures in life, find something fulfilling, something meaningful, something where they are contributing something substantial, is really going to help them in the long run with their personal growth and development. 7s usually don't reach this point. A lot of them usually are have to have a hard fall down in order to get to this point, meaning they have to be dealing with a long overdue drug battle and then overdose and then go to rehab over and over again, and before they finally can deal with this fact. And it's hard for them, but a lot of them more commonly turn to mixing pleasure and work together in order to sustain that happy existence and find a partner who can keep up with them as they go on adventures, and they have somebody to do adventures with too. That's another way out for them. At the end of the day, 7s need to realize that the source for their happiness is not out in front of them in the world somewhere, and they need to go find it. The source of happiness ultimately is right inside of them, and it's been there the whole entire time. 7s need to realize that having a successful and productive life is having a life that contributes something back to the world, and not something that they have to go out and get. And they're looking to grab a hold of anything to hold on to, when what they really need to be focused on is giving to the world, giving a gift to the world, giving a talent to the world. And a lot of 7s do this. I mentioned Steven Spielberg as a 7, who's one of the great 7s, so they can do this. They have the ability to do this. They're charismatic and charming, and the only thing that's stopping them really is themselves at the end of the day. As children, 7s looked more like 5s than 7s. They looked more independent, and they probably kept to themselves and had a really precocious child spirit nature to them as they were growing up. They probably had a willingness to learn, a willingness to discover a natural wonder about the world. But unlike the 5 who chose to be on their own through most of their childhood, the 7 is alone out of necessity, because it usually is a result of an absent parent. And so they learn to be their own source of light. They learn to be their own source of entertainment, because they don't have a parent that's present or that's there that can focus on them and give them the attention that they really need. And so this self-indulgence, this ability to be able to be alone and independent and only have to worry about yourself, the 7s get kind of jaded, and they kind of have a chip on their shoulder, and they realize that their need for emotional intimacy is a fear that they have. 7s naturally think that because it was left to them to raise themselves and take care of themselves, that it should be left to everybody to take care of themselves. Today's day and age, with the growing number of single mothers, the increase of 7s is on the rise, because there's just not enough parental figures to be able to give a child the attention that they really need. So the 7 gets jaded and says, well, I'm not going to have to ever be. They feel annoying that they need something from their parents, that they have to be a bothersome person to their parents. So then they turn to self-entertainment, and they say, you know what, if you don't need me, then I will never require anything from anyone ever again, and I'll be my own source of entertainment and my own source of happiness. And that's exactly what they do. When they come in contact with people and they want to have romantic relationships, they don't know how to be interdependent, which is having strengths on both sides and other sides. They only know how to be independent again. They have a strong need for independence, but it can often get in the way of relationships and commitment, because they just have this vast world of possibilities open to them, and the idea of turning all those possibilities off is nerve-wracking to them. It's unnerving. They can't imagine committing to one thing and turning off all those other possibilities. It just seems like death to them. Their gift is childlike joy, and innocence is their gift in some ways. Their sin is gluttony, and it's gluttony for experiences, adventures, and for partying. So they're the classic glutton. They can't say no to themselves. They have a problem setting boundaries with themselves, And in order for them to move past that, they have to learn how to give instead of take. And a lot of people in the headspace kind of take, because that is what fear makes you do. It makes you take things, and it makes you look for security in something. And so to avoid pain, they move to endless pleasures, and that is the quintessential 7. Now, famous 7s are Steven Spielberg, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams. A lot of comedians are 7s because it's that childlike joy of life that you can sense in them and that you can see in them. Those are the kind of people that you can easily tell that they're 7s. So what I have down for superhero or movie characters are Miles Morales, Star-Lord, and Peter Parker too. All Spider-Mans in most of the movies, they're the little kid in the group. They have that childlike joy and innocence that they bring to the team, especially in the latest Marvel movies. I'm not sure about the Sam Raimi ones, but don't get me started on my movie nerding ways. So yeah, that is the 7. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, if you want to see the rest of the videos, just click the link above. I'll leave it up there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later.